Well, good morning. Hey, this is part 2 from a filming I did on July 5th, 2025. Last time I was down there showing you my diagonal flow, and we're going to look at my main flow today. And we can see a full pond. This is a place where I harvested some dirt. I was kind of looking at creating a finger on the pond, but anyway, some of these dead trees were falling in, and I just left it natural, and I think that's pretty cool, and that should help to filter out. I didn't even know there was vines and stuff growing over the brush. Anyway, that filters out some debris, but we're going to do it backwards from what I normally do. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up, which is good for the guys that like to see the one log dam, which I think is the prettiest water feature I have on my land. It'll be the second thing coming up here. See all the beautiful grass. You know, the blessing of all this rain we've had is also a bad thing. I don't know if you know about Kerrville, Texas, but I think they had like 10 or 12 inches of rain, and 4th of July weekend people were like camping on the river, and there's a lot of children that may have lost their lives down there, which is pretty sad. Anyway, here's a big brush dam. After our last main event, we had found out that the water was scooching around this way, and I think you can see the line here where I added some more brush. So now, even with a big major flow, we should have full filtration. And I like how it's becoming a spongy mound. I can take the tractor, kind of press this in, and this is all cedar brush, whether it's the logs, the brush, the stumps, everything I just place in here. But because of the limbs, you can come in here and pack it, and over time you get this just soft spongy thing that you can walk over, drive a tractor over, that kind of thing. I had one years ago, but we had dismantled it to make a big hugelkultur. Anyway, we're starting again here, and I'd put these cedar posts behind it just to keep the water from pushing the whole thing down. And that's probably a good idea if you want to do something like that. You can use something like this thicket that's in the water flow. You could go to the other side and use that as a base, you know, to keep it from pushing through. Just something to keep in mind. But here's the what I love the most is my one log dam. It's one of the first videos I ever made. Basically just cut a trench across here, dropped a big cedar log in, capped it with big rocks, put rocks on the bottom side for erosion, and then cut the little V grooves out. And what it does is catches the sediment. And once you get, like right now, if we zoom in on it, the sediment's getting real close to the top of to the bottom of the V groove. You know, anywhere at this point, you can just add another log on top. You'd have to clog these up or dismantle it, put another log, but you can make it a 2-log dam. And what that's doing is going to start adding sediment here, so it starts to ease that big slope into here, which is pretty cool. But it's a beautiful sight, and I'm going to be quiet for a second so you can hear it. All right, I'm going to have to cross this fence. I'm going to shut down and reconnect with you here in a sec. Okay, the one log dam's just on the other side of this thicket. Here, it was a big mosh pit, so we actually put a low water crossing here so I could get vehicles up through here. And it's holding water also. We kind of missed on it because I had given the guy instructions of how high to make it that would store water further back, but not get in the way of these oak trees. We ended up being a little bit low. It could be higher. But as you can see, it catches a lot of sediment, and then cleaner water flows out. And that's another one of those deals, if I need a bucket or two of soil, I'll just come through here and scoop this out. Anyway, from there, going upstream, we got another brush dam. And same thing, the last big flow we had water gushing around the sides of it. And kind of show you where he added to it. Anyway, it was gushing around this way, So I think you can see from here over is all new brush, just to catch it when it goes over there to continue filtering. But this is a better, we're going to zoom in on this a little bit more than the other one. I mean, just look at the leaves and stuff it collects. So our live oaks, I think around March we have a live oak. Let me turn around and show them to you because they're beautiful. These are my two beautiful big live oak trees. The pond uphill was made to not have to disturb these or take them down. I mean, that would have been a crime to lose those trees. Anyway, their leaves fall, they lay on the ground. When the rains come, it washes down in here, goes down, and it starts going into this brush dam. And there again, this is mostly just cedar brush, and it starts clogging up with these leaves. The more it clogs, the more it filters the water, the more it slows down the water, the more it becomes a sponge where you can just walk across it. It's pretty ingenious. I mean, all cedar branches I end up going in one of these brush dams. I've yet to have to burn any. Okay, so now we're going up to the main pond. So because the water, get it from different angles. So the water's coming out from here, makes a big curve, and it dumps into these rocks for erosion protection, and it works great. But because we moved the water this far to the right, the ravine, it continued uphill before we built the pond. And we had the ravine here, and I wanted to fill it in because there's really no water running into it, but I wanted to do it slowly, so I didn't want to mess up these oak trees. So I had dismantled a hugelkultur, and I took all the logs that were still in it and just laid it down in there. So as they eventually rot, they'll form topsoil. We'll go take a look at it real quick. Anyway, it's been a few years now with no dire effects on the oak tree, but you can see it there. Like I said, there's no time frame on this. I mean, it's going to happen when it happens, but it'll start rotting and it'll level out and fill up. Also have a rock dam across here. I think I've added 3 layers to it. I put 1 layer of rocks across here. When sediment filled up to that level, I put another stack on top, and then when it filled up, I put another layer on top of that. So that's kind of helping fill this in, and then the logs, as they decompose, it'll help fill it in. And this is another area here where if I need some dirt, I'll just go in here and scoop it out. But let's follow the path. I haven't even looked at the main pond to see if how much it's overflowing. I don't think it's a big gusher, but it's got to be full and overflowing. But we can talk about the overflow. If you've got a pond and you want to save your fish, you've got to figure out your overflow. And the wider and the more level it is, to me, the less chance you're going to lose your 6-pound bass or 12-pound catfish. But look at the width of the overflow. It's pretty level through this whole area, so it flows out very gently, and then once it gets to the edge here, I mean, this is the natural contour it takes, which it speeds up at this point. You can see the ripples, but if you look in here, no ripples at all. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, I really feel like this saves my fish. And this past year, I think I guess it was 2024 is when I put fish in here. And some of them were caught, we'd caught them and put them in here, and they're already 2.5-pound bass, probably 3 or 4 of them. So anyway, I think it's a situation where the little fish can come down here. They can come all the way down here, and then once they get to the end, they're like, oop, maybe not, and turn around and come back. So it's definitely at full capacity. I'm interested, like I said, in seeing my new sediment pond, and then looking at where the water's coming in from the road, because the government had redid the culvert up there. We're gonna make our way over there. It's beautiful. All right, so right here is a row of asparagus that I planted. And the asparagus is tough. They seem to be able to survive these hot summers with us. And then I planted a fig tree right there. I'd raise it in my greenhouse. Wanted to get good roots on it before I planted it outside. But as you can see, it's got figs on it. I may have lost. I planted irises over here. They've been underwater. I misjudged what the height of the pond was, so I think they may be gone. But we'll plant some more another time. All right, we're getting to rock overflow. And this pond we're at now, along with a sediment pond we're fixing to see, was built by Zach Weiss. I think his YouTube channel is Water Stories. Brilliant water retentionist. I mean, he's going to make sure that it hydrates your soil. You can have a pond, but if you want a pond that makes your land better, hydrates the soil, make the grass grow better, he's the guy. I'm going to talk about another guy in a minute also. Anyway, so here's the water flowing over. I had put electric fence across the dam, and I had all this grass up here knee high. I'd reseeded it, but the cow said enough's enough, and they broke through the fence and got to it. I mean, had it growing good. Anyway, my original sediment pond, after, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, I ended up re-scooping it out. And from my estimation, we had collected 18 inches of sediment out of this, which is sediment that would have ended up in that pond. So the way he's designed it, same thing, it catches the sediment, it falls out, the cleaner water flows over these rocks, and in between the rocks I've got gravel, like granite gravel that I made kind of in between the rocks, and it's almost like an aquarium filter. I mean, it'll overflow without any surface water being seen, because it's got rock and gravel about that deep, so at some point all that water's flowing through that gravel. Like I said, just thinking about an aquarium with a gravel, it kind of does that to keep it clean. And then we go to my new pond, this one I built. I was just trying to hold a little bit more water. I didn't make it deep, but we'll go see it over here. It goes over here, goes over these rocks, and so far this is the second overflow event I've had, and it hasn't uprooted any rocks or anything yet. So that's pretty cool. And then this is my terrace over here. We've also got a water source here, so water's coming out here, going into it. Then I've got 2 flows over here on this side of this road for the culvert. We got a water flow which we'll look at. Actually, it's the other side of the road. It goes underneath the culvert, comes through here. But I got another water flow in the neighbor's land here. It's from this side of the road. It kind of comes out over here. We'll see if we can find it. But I need to look at it, make sure I didn't make any mistakes, and make note of what I need to fix. So anyway, I really didn't even scoop any dirt out in here. When I was cleaning out this sediment pond, I took all the dirt and created this dam. And this one's now, like, I used to be able to come harvest out of that sediment pond, but after digging it out, the edges are too steep. But I can do it here. I mean, this is so shallow and so gradual. If I need a scoop of dirt, I can just come in and take it. And I don't want to keep it, I don't want to make this one deep. Anyway, last time I looked, it looked like I was having an issue over here, but I think I'm gonna have to add some soil. Where you see the dirt, I think I'm gonna have to add some soil, kind of block it in. Try to see where the water's coming in. It's not flowing enough right now. There's a little channel here from the other side of the fence, a channel here, and I think it just works its way in this way. But we'll look at the flow from the culvert. I don't know if I told you, well, I got to get these pulled. Those are nasty. Cows won't eat it, but if they do, it's pretty nasty stuff, like burn a hole in your esophagus nasty. All right, and this is another pocket pond I built. I haven't rock lined it, but the Bermuda came in, so it's been pretty stable. But if you see what I'm doing, you know, you get a 5-inch rain event and all this water just flows in that pond. It's a gusher and you're losing your fish and stuff. So this is like a cushion. It's like a shock absorber. You know, if you're in an area where you get like 1 inch of rain a week or something like that is one thing, but when you get these events that you can get 4 inches of rain in a weekend or 12 inches of rain in a week, it's going to decimate the system. So none of these, we'll say 3 ponds, none of these 3 ponds are designed, have been sealed or anything to hold water. This one literally just dug the hole in the ground. That one just dug the hole in the ground. So in the start of the rainy season, there's a good chance these are going to be empty. So it's got to fill this, overflow, fill that, overflow, fill that, to overflow. And that's a big shock absorber, so all that water ain't just rushing in at one time. I really think it keeps the water cleaner and keeps the fish in the pond. And then here's my 4th one, thanks to the government. They came out here and realized this thing wasn't functioning. You couldn't even see it. There was a thicket of trees and brush and stuff in here. They didn't dig up the culvert. They had to deal with the culvert where it was, but they built this concrete thing and then dug out a pond here. They were going to have it come straight out, and they actually let me give some opinion on it. I said let it pull up. So it's another one of those things that's holding water. And what I did, I was worried about the erosion, so I just took bags of concrete, and you can see, I mean, they're doing well. I took 3/8 by 12-inch nail spikes, and when I put the bags down, I put a nail through the top bag into the next bag before it had hardened, so I don't think there's any chance of these toppling over. My worry though was that it was going to poof out this way, and I'll probably come back and add a couple more bags over here. I mean, I can't really tell if that happened or not. I mean, I don't see any leaves down here, which means water may have pushed through, but I don't really see any rutting. But if you go over to the right, you see the leaves there. So I probably did have some water come through, but like I said, I'll fix that with a couple more bags. Anyway, that's our upside down walk starting from the bottom of my main flow. 5 inches of rain in 24 hours. It's probably gonna, I think it clears up. I mean, today's a Saturday, and I think by Monday all the rains are gone. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. We got rain, but a lot of people died because of it. Anyway, y'all have a great day.